My name is GK Ganesan. I'm going to tell you a story. It involves a very senior policeman. He is highly respected and he has a superior. One day the superior tells him, "Listen, this is my 25-year-old daughter. I want you to send her home safely to her mother back home. Can you do it?" And he says, "Yes, sir." And along comes this girl. When the girl enters the car, after the usual polite introductions, she happens to glance over to the back of the car, and at the rear of the car, she notices a duffel bag. She doesn't think very much of it. The car starts up. The senior police officer guns his engine, and as soon as they are out of the police precinct, he is driving helter-skelter. Naturally, the girl is asking him, "Why are you doing this? Why are we driving so fast?" And he says, "Listen, your father didn't tell you this, but there is a serial murderer who's in fact intent on killing you. So I am going to save you, and we've got to be very quick about it." She's, of course, deeply anxious and scared, sits back and puts on a seatbelt and holds on for dear life. He is driving at a speed of 200 kilometers an hour. Whenever he reaches the traffic lights, he doesn't stop. He crashes through barriers. He doesn't pay any heed to the road regulations. He does not even slow down when members of the police force flag him down. He is put his foot down on the accelerator and they are speeding. So much so that when he passes a heavily populated area, when there are shops outside and people sitting and eating at the sidewalk, he crashes right through them, and this girl screams and she says, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" He says, "That's all right. I'll explain it to my superiors. They'll understand. Everything that I'm doing is lawful. After all, we're avoiding this serial murderer." This goes on for a while. And then about 15 minutes into the journey, this man stops at a pharmacy and she says, "Why are we stopping? I thought we are being pursued by the serial killer. Quick, hurry." And he says, No, I have to aerate my foot. You see, I've got a little boil on the last toe of my left foot." He stops the car, he opens the door, removes his shoe and shows her his foot and points to it. And he says, "Look at this boil." And she says, "Well, you've got to get it lanced, have someone open it up and medicate it." And he says, No, we have no time. I just need to aerate it." Having aerated it, he puts on his shoe and they're back again, driving exceedingly fast, completely beyond every known system of safety limit. Eventually, they crash into a tree. And not only that, having crashed into the tree, the car careens off, rebounds, turns over several times, and then it falls into a nearby lake. And the water is rushing up through the car, and this girl is panicking. She turns and looks at the police officer. He is bleeding. There's blood everywhere. And she's trying to get out of the car. What would you do if you were in her circumstances? You would look about for something with which to break open the windscreen and get out. And therefore she's looking about, and this bag that was at the back of the car floats out near her, and she rips it open in terrible hurry, and there she finds large amounts of money, diamonds and necklaces and various other valuables. And she asks him, "What have you done? Why are we in this crash? We are sinking. Help me." And she says, "I'm sorry. I have to confess to you. I actually robbed a bank. I didn't tell your father. And I was driving very, very fast. There is no serial murderer looking for us. I'm very sorry. Will you please forgive me?" And the car sinks and the girl is fighting for her life. And I stop there. Would you with me imagine that the car is the Constitution? The front right tire is the lawmaking body, Parliament. The front left tire is the judiciary. The two tires at the back are the enforcement agencies and all the security forces of the country. The steering wheel is the civil service. The uniform worn by the police officer is a badge of authority, and it represents the government and the cabinet. The hands and legs of the police officer are the cabinet, and the head is the prime minister. And dear friends, the girl who's about to drown is you, the Raya, the citizens. And what of the duffel bag that represents the trust of the people placed in the government and the majority of the MPs by whose authority the Prime Minister is appointed? That is the money. The boil on the left leg, which the police officer did not bother to treat, is the current COVID-19 virus. I now ask you, if you will, to rewind the story in your own mind and try and understand the story in the context of these new points I've illustrated to you, which now brings me to ask you this question. Is this emergency a device for the convenience and comfort of 108, perhaps 109 MPs at the expense and prejudice of 34 million people of this country? Thank you very much. I hope you will share this widely and press like and subscribe if you haven't already. Goodbye.